Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Wantless, where today we are gonna keep doing things that make me uncomfortable, and I want to talk about that. I had some criticisms for some specific aspects of the implementation here, like the grammar thing. I think is a real bummer. I guess I feel this way about things in general, but especially when you are dealing with heavy subject matter, fraught subject matter. I feel like you have an increased responsibility to take it seriously, to display that you are taking it seriously, and polish of execution, I think, to some degree helps with that. And there's some dissonance, there's some ludonarrative dissonance for sure, but I want to be perfectly clear that this story is making me really uncomfortable with the moral implications of this technology and the actions that I am taking in a world in which this technology exists. And that's just good science fiction. That is the piece of art doing exactly what the piece of art is supposed to do, exactly what it's trying to do. I think this is great and is doing it so effectively that I was kind of hesitating to sit back down to record this, because I was like, how much do I need to hash out my feelings about all of this stuff, and what exactly the moral thing to do is with the kind of responsibility given to us by the power that we have here. And I think the answer I came up with is just that I don't know. My feelings are very unfinished about this. I definitely don't think you should, obviously, don't think you should be upsizing people against their will. Right? Hopefully that goes without saying. But in a situation like this, where somebody is a prisoner and they tell you that they want you to do it, but they're clearly in a despair spiral, I'm trans, and I don't think it's going to surprise anybody that I come down very heavily on the side of believe a person when they tell you a thing about how they want to use their bodily autonomy. And that's tough. It's tough. That's sitting very much in conflict with my knee-jerk reaction to all this, which is we should get this lady some therapy and make sure that she actually thinks that this is okay, because she went through something really horrific and traumatic, and there's clearly damage there. But if she says she thinks this is the solution to the damage, I mean, clearly she's in a position of coercion due to her imprisonment and whatnot, but how do we balance that morally? I have no idea. And to a certain extent, I don't have to, right? We have to do this to move on with the game. So we're allowed to just feel uncomfortable about it and move forward, and that's what we're going to do. But thinking about these questions, I mentioned at the end of the last episode, that I was if somebody comes to you of their own free will and is hey, make me wantless, what I would have told you at the beginning of recording the series is that sort of resolves the moral question for me. It's just hey, that's what they want. But I'm realizing, as I'm sort of wrestling with this other stuff, that that's not exactly true. It's not that it resolves the moral question for me. It's just that it makes it feel like it's none of my business. So that means I do have a very unresolved set of feelings about it, and that's just where we're at right now. I kind of think, I don't know. I don't want to talk about what I kind of think. Let's play the game. I've been sitting here talking for long enough, but my overall point is this is really fucking good. This is very good science fiction. I'm really digging it so far. I love the griminess. This is good cyberpunk to me. So yeah, let's get back in here and continue to engage with the good but depressing and upsetting, or perhaps good because depressing and upsetting, piece of art here. Okay, Lena. Upsize Lena's criminal intents. I am so uncomfortable with that phrase. I haven't even really looked at the stuff we got from the other guys. We have a bunch of orange quality efficiency synapses that we should probably try to figure out whether they're worth using or not. We do still need an awful lot of discipline before we could realistically play with many of them, though. Leveling up is certainly helping, but we're going to need to gain, like, quite a few levels. This world had us all make mistakes. It's such a fascinating way of, like, it's such a good way of wording that, because, like, it's easy to say that, you know, you feel guilt about the outcome of your decisions and stuff, but there are ways in which some of these things are very constrained decisions. Maybe sometimes, I'm not saying necessarily in Lena's case, but if you're poor, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. There are ways in which some of these things get to not being decisions at all, just through the sort of exigencies of our situations. And anyway, acrimony. Part of yourself doesn't want to see the world thrive. Being miserable wouldn't feel so bad if misery was all there ever was. You detach your conscious self from this toxic persona, but you can always feel it crawling up the back of your mind, oozing resentment. Yeah, it's that's familiar. There's some things about that are familiar. Also, forgive the, you know, the slowness and stuff while I'm still on the controller. So there's a ton of memories out here. We have to be a little cautious about that because these guys explode when they die, right? Yeah. Okay, so I need to... We need to be very careful about deploying the ranger, because the ranger's attacks are difficult to control. If I touch a memory, it immediately reveals us, right? I believe that's the case. Oh, okay, all right. But what I'm thinking is, yeah, if we touch a memory, it immediately pops us. So... there are 4 more of them up there. What I'm thinking is that maybe we start the battle by just grabbing 2 of them really fast. So, like, set down the ranger and the totem over here. The ranger won't cause enough of these guys to explode, I don't think, to break anything, especially not if we start the battle by grabbing the 2 that are up front. And we do have that increased interaction range. Do I think the rod is even going to be relevant in this situation? Maybe. Alright. I'm going to cast the rod behind us. The next turn, the plan is... cast the ranger here, grab stuff, and just try to just see what happens, basically. Alright, I'm happy to see the enemies mostly moving away from the memories. Okay, here we go. We are revealing ourselves on purpose. Oh, do I not have the ability to do... Oh, I can grab them at range when I'm not... shoot, when I'm out of combat, right? That's fine. We'll do this, and then these restore 4 AP. So we're going to be giving a lot of AP potentially. If I do a dash over to here... Obviously, I don't want that one to get blown up, but I think it's... This one, I think, is the one that's most likely to get destroyed. Remember that because we summoned the ranger this turn, he'll act after all of the bugs do. So there's a chance he won't get a shot. He may just absorb a bunch of hits and die, which I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to. I'm going to run back and touch this one as well. And then the question is, like, how much exactly do I want to let the enemies bank? I kind of think maybe the thing now is step back into line and drop the buckler. The rod's gonna shield us all before the enemy's turns, then they're gonna come out and do horrible things to us, but like they should be aiming pretty far away from the memories, hopefully. I'm gonna do it that way. We'll see if this turns out to be like deep foolishness. I may have dramatically overcharged the opponents here. Okay, well everybody's got that 8 point maximum, I guess. Okay, so once you've committed 8 points, you may as well just keep going forever, because things are not going to get any worse. The explosive pushback. I was not prepared for the explosive pushback to annihilate the other bug. That works out really well for us. So what do we know about drawing cynicism? Is this new to us? Targets a large area within line of sight before inflicting poison and dealing moderate grief damage. Safe at close range. Okay. So as things stand right now, he intends to destroy 3 memories all at once, which would cause us to immediately lose, right? So this is where we want to put we got to put our flashing arrow into play. Because I got to cheat the distance a little bit. But actually, I got pushed so far backwards, I'm not sure if even with that, can I make it? Like if I run up to here, what happens if we awaken it? I get an extra range. I guess this is an opportunity to test the thing, right? Well, the way I position myself, it's kind of not to test whether it would remove a negative effect. I'm not quite going to be able to get there. So if I step here, I do want to do, I think, the Awaken, because I want to have enough AP to step in. Well, I was going to say I want to have enough AP to step in, activate the thing, and step out. But when I interact with the thing, I'm going to gain 4 AP. So it's actually not really that big of a deal. I think I am going to do the Awakened version of it, though. So, okay. Let's hit the preserve. I can't quite make it to any of the others. So yeah, right now he's going to destroy 2. We're going to go to 2 instability, and then we can try to pull the other motivating memories. So how afraid am I of the damage that he is actually going to deal himself? Well, I don't get to stockpile, so I may as well like step over here and then cast, right? I've set everybody to 8. Do we want to do anything else? Is it worth moving further? I don't think so. I think I'm actually pretty happy here. I don't think you're going to make it to a position where you can shoot, sadly. Okay. That's absolutely fixable. Okay, and I do think we absolutely want to grab both of these right now. Yeah, it's an interesting like additional challenge. We're already maxing out. I may as well hit him with the pain missile. And then Do I want to just like run as far as possible away, or I have a little bit of shield left? Because the other thing I could do is just like step up and punch him and then walk away, right? I guess I want to back up as much as possible though. Let the ranger do a lot of the work. Sadly, the ranger is just outside of getting rebarriered. Ooh, and then the ranger ran up on me. Well, at least we're all out of his jump range here. Alright. I can hit once, that's not so bad. Yeah, like overall, this guy's not actually that much of a threat to us. 197 left. Yeah, I actually just punch you to death, I think. Okay. I think cleansing temporary negative effects is interesting. I think I just want to take the regen, honestly. Okay, all our debuffs and everything fell off anyway. Yeah, just that will do. Alright, would you look at that? It's a great big regret. At times, the immeasurable mass of abandoned thoughts and lost potentials makes itself manifest. Panic ensues. What else could you have been? What splendors have you missed out on? Okay. It's going to spawn enemies, permanent toxic stacks. This is all very solvable, but once again, we got to watch the memories around the room. So, like, ideally, we need to pick up 3 of them pretty much as quickly as we can. So I'm trying to calculate a path around here, because obviously we want to drop our summons in here as well, if possible. So I would love to drop the summons together so that they can both get shielded. Move to here. Drop a summon. I mean, I do not love that. Windy flashing arrow to here. Drop the totem there. Pick up the thing, drop the ranger on the other side, maybe? Actually, I don't hate that. Alright, totem here. Pick this up. Did it not? I cast the buckler, is what I did. Well, now I feel like a fool. Alright, I'm going to step to here. I'm blaming that on difficulties introduced by the controller, even if that's 100% unfair. Throwing down the Ghastly Ranger there. The Bulwark Rod has 4 AP to work with. Everybody else has 1 billion. And I'm the only person with the shield on, because goddamn it. Okay, well, you know, at least they're aiming for me. And we should be able to draw them away from the memories for the most part. And actually, they're stepping up for the totem to blow them up pretty effectively here. Okay, so we lost a memory. It's not too bad. We're doing okay. I need to Let's see, you're just gonna kill this thing anyway. I don't actually know. The totem... Okay, yeah, the totem gets to go before the ranger, because the totem was summoned first. So the ranger is going to get barriered before he blows up an enemy directly adjacent to himself. And I think I'm just going to run for these memories. All we actually have to do is get one of them in order to keep things online here. I just need to make sure the enemies don't get them both. Okay, yeah, this is looking pretty all right. Hit you with the missile. Oh, interesting that picking that up caused the environment to reconfigure a little bit. Do I wanna... I mean, I guess we may as well grab the other one, right? It'll give us tokens, if nothing else. Okay, and now that we've done that... This costs 3 the way I have it set up. And when it's awakened, it only has 1 extra space of range, right? Yeah, so I can't quite pull it off. I could step up and punch this dude, but I don't know. I mean, there's no point in maintaining AP. Right, all the enemies are already at their caps. So we may as well spend the rest of what we got. The healing doesn't seem very valuable. Alright, barriers for you. Cool, cool. Yep, and the enemies are doing more damage to themselves than they are to me when they hit me. Okay, this ended up being a little weird and messy, but on the whole, I'm into it. I'm happy with how the things are going. All right, so I'm gonna teleport to here. And we'll see if we gain an intoxicate stack. Or I wouldn't gain an intoxicate. I would take damage. So, will the gust clear this before we land on it? No, yeah, it did, right? Was I at full? I was looking at my shield, expecting my shield to go down, and it didn't. But I think we were at full health. I don't know. I'll look at the footage later. I can figure that out. That's not one where I need to be on top of it right this second. I think we just spend the rest of our AP punching, right? I don't see any reason not to go as hard as possible because I don't think this enemy is actually very threatening to us. And I do want our ranger to get 2 shots. Okay. Just look at all them coulds. So you're planning to jump over here. It's a little bit of a shame. The awakened versions of these skills, no, they all cost the same. Because what I'd really like to do is step to here and then drop the totem. I think it's probably not a good idea to do that. I think what we want to do is totem, ranger, and shield. If I want to execute that turn, I don't get to do even a single space of movement, sadly. All right, so the totem should kill those 2 at the very least. And then I can take care of these 3 over here pretty easily. But I think we're going to get some new spawns. Actually, you know, I said I can take care of those ones over there pretty easily, but I'm not certain. Am I going to be able to get over there enough? I think this does it. Right? Yeah. And that leaves me enough AP to punch this one to death as well. I always forget about how much AP we get from killing stuff, you know, if the plan is going well. Alright, unfortunately can't make much of a use of that. Everybody's already maxed out, so I guess may as well just step a little closer. Although, I kind of think the bot might end up... Well, it's not going to kill both of them. It doesn't have the range, I don't think. It doesn't have line of sight to this one. Yeah, overall, I think that went really well. All right, punch, punch. Okay, and then the boss, sadly, I don't think will become vulnerable until the beginning of its turn, so we don't really get... I guess it's worth it. It's worth it for me to come over here and... can I teleport to a space? Yeah. It's worth it for me to come over here and get the barrier. You coward. Obviously, though, this dude's time is over. It is a little bit annoying to move to him, I guess. I'm just gonna end my turn. Our ranger has the AP to finish the job. Yeah, let's get the hell out of here. What? I don't even get a level? Wow, that is a lot of tokens, though. All right, it's important to get memories. I think we did a lot of mines that didn't have a lot of loose memories in them in a row there, and that's why we completely stopped getting money. Oof. Yep. I mean, I'm sure she is. She was sorry before, though. Hey, are you okay? There really wasn't a better option for these people, was there? Probably not. Well, we've good reason to get through this hamlet. Have you seen Carrig? Let's get his approval and leave. Yeah, he insisted on waiting for you here on the altar thought. Yeah, I'm not too happy about that. That guy creeps me out. Take a quick look at dealer's shop, and of course the day that we actually have some money, all of a sudden he doesn't have anything interesting anymore. Well, we'll just keep an eye on it. Don't think we need another Ranger Automaton 1. Alright. On behalf of those 3, thank you. You haven't lost your touch. Feels weird being on this side of the room. I haven't told you the whole truth. Oh, great. I did want to test your nerves to make sure you were ready. Ready for your trip south, and ready to take my place. Now that a reliable transposer is back in service, I can finally retire. I couldn't leave all these people on their own, but it's high time I joined the Wantless too. Who could crave terminal transposition more than us transposers, who've elected to make it our life goal? That's, yeah, okay. This is some of the stuff I'm uncomfortable with. Let's have a look. Yeah, just jump in there and do that, shall we? All right. I mean, we are doing it. You're unyielding and grounded, but slow. Interesting. The tooltip thing is not working here. That's fine. Yeah, I guess let's do it. 3,000 tokens just for getting there. It is a tier 3, but I think we're ready for that. So this is the first time that we in character or like we as the person playing the character are making someone wantless, right? We've done more minor things to other people, and certainly Iris has made people wantless. But I think this is the first time I'm being asked to do it. You know, before I go, you haven't told me why you were headed inside the fog. I've been curious ever since you've arrived. Yeah, well, if you give me a minute, you won't be anymore. It'll sound insane. I'm after a conscious entity I've repeatedly seen inside multiple patients' minds. We suspect a hacker, and we've reason to believe they're to be found further south. Those patients, are they okay? They're not. Why would you ask that? Well, I've seen it. That conscious apparition. What? How do you know it's the same thing? Well, I don't, but I'd describe it the same way. It has memory, it remembers what it said in other minds, and it hurts patients. Well, what do you think it is? I don't know. What if it shows inside your mind maze? Well, I don't think it will, and if it's an anti-transposition hacker, he'll be happy I'm gone. Carrick, whatever you can give me about that entity could help me save lives. There's really nothing more I can give you, Iris. I've never figured it out. Just do as it says. Disobeying only makes it worse. Carrick, are you sure it's what you want? We can call it off, talk this through. Yeah, I've had a lifetime to think about it. There's nothing left to talk about. I'm lucky you've the courage to remain awake yourself. Godspeed, Iris. Rest well. It's interesting that he words it that way. You have the courage to remain awake yourself. I don't want to get too heavy with stuff. You know what? We're just going to play the video game right now. I want to think about some things before I say them. Okay, well that's something. Ah, his weariness. That makes sense. I'm tired, so tired. Let me smother this one last spark and rest. Once and until the very end of times. Aims to smother hope. Sure, that makes sense. It would. So slowed and unyielding. And here we have a speck of hope. A little tiny remaining speck of hope. One final lone spark. Who knows what would become of this mind should it disappear? Despair on death. Well, I mean, like, we are... That's what we're... What does the process of making someone wantless really mean? Small piece of one's personality devoid of any specific will or characteristics, but no less real for it. So we can't interact with his fragments of self. If the speck of hope gets destroyed, that seems real bad, which is weird considering. Okay, it'll give us some love if we can keep it alive. Well, we're already detected. We don't know anything about you. But I think I want to get ahead of it, right? As best I can. 2,900 health. I mean, that's fixable, right? Nice you to move into damage range. All right. So they both have the ability to strike already. If I spend 3 more AP, we'll get a second shot out of the Ranger. But right now, this guy only has 2 AP. It feels like this is maybe the moment to stop. Just don't let him have very much movement. Gives the poison time to tick. Wow, we are really not getting there. But I mean, like, is extinguishing the hope not the thing we're supposed to be doing? What is hope? What is hope to a Wantless, right? I'm actually kind of unsure of the plan here. Alright, that's given you enough AP to shoot again at least. We can throw 6 points of punches and let this thing move a bunch more. But we take the best advantage of it being slowed by making it take short turns, right? Because it's losing 1 space of movement per turn. Okay, all right. Well, at least I made it take some damage there. It hit me, so the thorns, you know. All right, so I need 4 movement. 5 would be good. To spend 5 AP would give the totem 2 shots. I guess I may as well re-spider the thing. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. So you're going to hit twice. I should spend my other AP at this point, I think. I'm going to try to provide a block here. Okay, there we go. We're getting him pretty good now that his resistance has worn off. I think in this case we want to put the rod up front. Ow. Well, that's not like the best that could have gone. I do want to reapply the poison, just kind of like every opportunity, right? But our summons aren't coming back for a while. Last breath, will we? I don't have any idea what that does. But, you know, from the name, I have a guess. So what is Unfaltering Light again? Cleanses and then doubles hit damage. I guess it makes sense to fall back and not give it a lot of AP here. We'll stand in the unfaltering light zone and see what happens. Okay, that wasn't so last. Why, that was hardly last at all. Once again, trying to just take a short turn here, but setting myself up for resummoning the critters. Should I do it sideways, maybe, to avoid all of us getting owned by a single enough? Maybe. And if I'm doing that, then I want to step sideways before I do it. Yeah, I think so. Ugh. Alright, well. I don't love the inexorable, but what are you going to do? Oh, the totem hits the hope. That's interesting. I guess it is marked as an enemy. So if I destroy his weariness, am I doing the opposite of the thing he wants? So far, all of our transpositions have just been do any damage you can and it's all good. But it does feel like maybe that's not the situation here. Right now, you have basically no... I mean, the best thing we can do is just wait for his resistance to fall off, right? So I think maybe I do just take it easy on this turn. Okay, well, we know what this is going to be. And I can't knock him back. I'm going to heal myself. So you're at 4 now. We don't actually know how much enough costs. Right now, the totem doesn't get to act, and I think I'm actually just going to stop here. Can you do enough on 2 AP? I was not paying enough attention earlier. Sure can. That said, I think we're gonna get there, but is killing his weariness gonna make him not want to be transposed anymore? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just gonna do it, and we'll consider the implications later. Because if I'm honest, I don't really want to make him Wantless. You unfortunately are going to only hit the statue and not even barrier me because I didn't position myself very smartly. Oh, okay. No, I do not want to use a neural ankh. I'm going to have to just do the whole thing over again. Also, we can't. Does it... Yeah, would you try again? Okay. We are going to have to just do it again. We almost got there. Yeah, we are not allowed to leave without doing this. Okay, there are some things about that are a little clearer to me now. I understand a little better what's going to happen before going in. That is a pretty cool targeting area. So it lets us create an impulse. We're not gonna... I wouldn't buy that even if we could afford it, but it's interesting. Sacrifice 30% of your max HP to deal 4% of caster max HP pain damage. I mean, I guess they have to be leery. They have to be careful with that because you could scale your HP up really high, but that conversion rate seems pretty brutal. All right, let's give this one more go here. We can do this. I'm confident we can do this. I just need to be a little bit smarter about the thing. No, we can skip that. That's just the same conversation. It's interesting. Like, they don't make it like you failed. We're going to rewind to the beginning of the day, right? A day passes in game time. But then they make that conversation trigger again, like the previous thing had not happened. It's a weird sort of like split in ways to consider this. Okay, so I'm going to change some things up about my approach this time. First of all, we're going to stick this now while he's vulnerable. Then, yeah, I think I am just going to run past him, basically. So, we're not super, like, I think I'm going to try to get down here and block his way a little bit better. They're not super incentivized to actually do all that much to him this turn. I'm going to go ahead and put down the ranger now. Okay. Bulwark Rod. Buckler. And he's still got his stuff up, so I don't really want to hit him with the missile. I do kind of want to back up, though, I think. The unyielding makes him, yeah, immune to push. I guess I could just, like, throw a punch and then back up one space. I know it's not very much, but every little bit. And this keeps me inside barrier range. Wow, 1,000. Okay. So we stack up some damage, and then do I just back out so that I don't get enoughed? Yeah, and then it's just like punch him a couple more times and try to position. It's a little awkward. It is like really a shame that his abilities cycle the way they do. Maybe the thing to do is to wait to summon the summons until after the resistances wear off for the first time. Does that put us on a slightly different cycle relative to his abilities? I'm going to be kind of off cycle anyway here. Yeah, I definitely want to be standing here, make things a little bit awkward for him. Okay. Can I get you with the missile from here? I can. So I'm going to throw it on the Ranger. I'm going to hit him with the missile. And I'm gonna intentionally not give him a lot of AP right now. We're gonna let the Ranger just stockpile this turn. So I am locking myself in place. Perhaps this is very foolish. So I don't have the ability to move. You're at 8 though. He's at 5. I think I'm just gonna like let it ride here. She'll get your 2 shots off before he gets his shield up, which is great. And he's gonna go... Oh, right. This is just last breath time. That's not so bad. Alright, so we really, really, really want to stick the damage. I'm going to teleport out to here where I will still benefit from the barriers, but I won't get pushed back in the same direction as everybody else by last breath. Yeah, and we're getting some pretty good chunks out of him here. All right, so he's got what left? 249. It kind of feels like maybe the thing to do is like just like absolute minimum. Give my friends enough to stockpile with. Oh, well, I guess fleeting is a concern. But like, again, a lot of what we're doing here is just waiting for his resistances to wear off. Are you... Okay, you have 2 turns left, so you'll get to... If I spend at least 1 AP, you will get to act. But you won't get to hit him, so there's no value in it, actually. I'm just going to do nothing. My enemies get an AP no matter what. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So now his buffs have worn off. And I think we just kill him. The poison damage will do it, I think. Yeah. I must feel better without these. We would hope. Okay, and then here's his wants. So we removed all his weariness, but we're also going to take his wants out. So in the end, he'll never even know. Happiness, comfort, love, success, admiration, self-accomplishment, peace of mind, that slice of pizza resting in the fridge. Here lie all of your patient's wants, ripe for irreversible obsession. All right. I think that where I come down on this is that, like, I probably think it's a thing that people should be able to do. I think you should be able to say, again, you know, exercise your autonomy, say, yeah, I want to go. But I don't want to do it. I don't want to be the one who has to do it. I don't know. It's pretty grim stuff, but I just... Yeah. Okay, that's a lot of learning points, certainly. That's a lot of everything. And it's a dull mind key. I mean, you can't say that mechanically, financially, this wasn't good for us, but that doesn't really approach my feelings about it at all. And here we are, trusted. By who? I have no idea. I guess the other people who live here. Not that it matters, since we do not intend to spend any time here. Alright, so to the Misty Hamlet we go. We did learn a lot about weariness. I would say that's definitely true. Mark that all as red. Let's pop over to dealer's shop, see if we got anything actually exciting. An oozing cape. Hit damage is reduced to 1, but that's a lot of bonus affliction damage. What's this? Okay, Berserk. Okay, I mean, we don't really need an extra copy of Berserk, I don't think. Therapy is interesting. A pillar totem, which has a little bit better effect range than the rod totem. Without really all that much difference in discipline weight, but at the point that we're at right now, even a small amount of discipline weight difference is too much, is unretrievable for us. I don't think I'm gonna buy anything right now. I think we're gonna wait until we have a better idea of like... Ooh, spoil is interesting. Yeah, I think we have a better idea of like the kind of stuff we're looking for, so I'm gonna be a little bit more careful with our tokens. This though, this we have some thoughts about. First of all, I think I do want to just use the dull mind key here to start getting us through into the bottom part of this area, or like that would be a precious mind key. There's a dull mind key thing over here. I'm just trying to figure out like what options does this actually give us? We can get to drive. Because the thing is, we're not that far away from just like pushing down here through sharing, right? And while I don't think these points are all that valuable, maybe it's not a good use for a resource that's as valuable as a mind key. Positive effects you manually cast on yourself become auras affecting all allies but yourself. That's interesting. Okay, so this is all like buff and debuff stuff. I guess we don't really have another super relevant use for a dull mind key, except that if we did come down here through sharing, we'd be spending a couple of points that are pretty unimpressive, but then we could use the mind key to access the lower parts of the debuff area without having to go through the upper parts, which is maybe pretty interesting. Right, so what are we skipping by doing that? Bonus wound and fragilize damage. That's interesting. Condescension giving you healing. Chance to spread afflictions to adjacent enemies on tick. I mean, insidiousness is like the really juicy thing, right? Where you can just stack 2 copies of your dot on people. And that does require a dull mind key to get to. Yeah, I might save it. We might just come down through here since we're most of the way down here anyway. And honestly, we very well might want to cross over and grab the other level of welcoming at some point. So the question then is, do we grab self-improvement and elegance, or do we just start spending in the summon area? Whenever any entity dies, like, it's certainly not bad, but I'm trying to think of, like, in a standard combat, how often is this going to trigger? How much extra AP, how many actual extra actions are we going to get from taking this? And I guess the answer is it doesn't have to be very much for it to be worth a point, especially given how deeply committed we are and how much we want this last point of self-improvement anyway. Let's just go ahead and grab it. And then we'll start taking stuff here, and we'll head down into this area, and we will not crack this mine seal. We may crack that one potentially. So we'll just hold on to the key for the moment. I think that probably makes sense. All right. The level gains plus that puts us in a position of having 540 more discipline to play with, which is... It's not going to give us everything we wanted, but it might let us do something else interesting. You know, I'll have a look at this. I will take some time between episodes. I think I'm going to go ahead and end this one here for the moment. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we are finally sailing into the fog. And, I mean, I can only imagine things are just going to get worse, right? So, come back for that, and we'll see you then.